Live, love Africa. What's your excuse for not coming? Please subscribe.
Hello, I'm Diaspora.
Greetings everyone, it is Diaspora Search for Uhuru. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, make sure you go to Diaspora.com. Again, make sure you go to Diaspora.com. While you're there, buy some merchandise. This is the Midday shirt. I have to represent for the Midday side of my family. Also, I'm an author, so buy some books, okay? And don't just buy one book. You need to buy 20 books because everyone in your neighborhood, your family members, your cousins, aunties, co-workers, everyone needs a book, okay? So while you're there, buy some books. Also, join our email list. Again, join our email list so you guys can stay up to date in regards to what's going on with Diaspora. Like, share, and subscribe to the content. Please like, share, and subscribe to the content. We would greatly appreciate your guys' support. And then patreon.com, search for Uhuru. Again, patreon.com, search for Uhuru. Please become a Patreon. You know, make your monthly contribution. So, support Black media. So Black media, us in Black media, we can continue to share our narrative and tell our own story. So today's topic, you guys, coronavirus, how it turned the tables on Ghana's diaspora. Again, I know there are a lot of you out there, for some reason, whatever Ghana comes out of my mouth, you guys get offended for some reason. Even though I've done hundreds of videos showcasing the beauty of Ghana, whenever there's a so-called something that you guys consider negative, even though it's not negative, and I'm just reading an article, some of you guys get offended. So this isn't just limited to Ghana. This includes just about every African country that has a diaspora, which is every African country. So coronavirus, how it turned the tables on Ghana's diaspora. This is from the BBC News. In our series of letters from African writers, journalist and former Ghana government minister Elizabeth Ohene writes about how the prospect of living abroad has lost its attraction in the time of coronavirus. So, I did a story how there were a number of African Americans who were stranded in Ghana. So a group of us decided that we were going to take the initiative and contribute and donate so that those who are stranded, they could be more comfortable, or whatever needs they have, whether they have to send money back home. I mean, they're not able to earn an income while in Ghana. So if they need money to send back home to their relatives and families and friends in America, we were going to donate, a group of us. So I've reached out to the African American Ghana Association. I have not heard back. I reached out to Obadale Kabon, and I spoke with him this morning. And we were talking, and I was like, hey, from my understanding, there's a number of African Americans who are stranded in Ghana because of coronavirus, and they can't get back home. We want to donate money so, we can help them with any type of fiscal financial responsibilities that they might have that they can't take care of because they're stranded in Ghana and haven't been able to work. And he said, this is what Obadale said. This is what Dr. Kabon said. He said, Dinas, I talked to him this morning. He said, Dinas, there have been only 100 coronavirus deaths here in Ghana. In America, there's been over 165,000 deaths. Why would someone want to leave the fire, then go back into the fire? It doesn't make sense. I think he said he was eating groundnut stew or ground nuts and coconuts right now. And we talked about some other things, but I'm not going to get into it. So that's what we're trying to do. But again, from what's taking place in America, I've already said it. I did a story on this. I did a video on this a couple weeks ago. Right now, as we speak, the Nigerian passport is stronger than the it's stronger than the American passport. Right now, as we speak, the Nigerian passport is stronger than the U.S. passport. Right now, as we speak. Everybody wanted that coveted blue passport. But I think as of right now, you can only fly into, I think, maybe 15 countries with that coveted blue passport. The Ghanaian passport, the Nigerian passport, Togolese passport, Senegalese passport, Cameroonian passport, Malian passport are all stronger right now. Just about every African country outside of maybe Somalia. And I could be wrong. The Somalian passport might even be stronger right now than the American passport. Again, I repeat, the Somalian passport might even be stronger than the American passport. Right now, a lot of states are back on lockdown. So a lot of people who are coming to America to chase this American dream, right now you don't have access to the American dream, depending on what industry you're in, depending on which state you live in. Because some are still locked down, especially California. You can't do nothing in California right now. So if you have plans to get out and hustle on the streets, you know, leave your African country, come to America, live that American dream, and hustle on the streets, well, you don't have that opportunity anymore. So right now, America is not as attractive as it used to be. I also read another article where America is the second worst place on the planet to raise children. Again, I read an article, America is the second worst place on the planet to raise children. So you take coronavirus, you take America being the second worst place on the planet to raise children, America's not that attractive anymore. Let's continue. We used to say here in Ghana, half in jest, half in truth, that you can find a Ghanaian in every country in the world. I've heard of Ghanaians in Greenland, Iceland, and Papua New Guinea. I admit I haven't heard about a Ghanaian in the Faroe Islands, which is my idea of the most exotic and faraway place. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of us is there. From the middle of the 1970s through to the end of the 1990s, circumstances have conspired to turn us into a traveling people. Over the past 20 years, we have continued to do it, not because the things that used to drive us away still exist, but simply because it has become a habit and our minds are tuned that way. The middle class is now trying to send their pregnant wives to deliver babies in the United States. Same thing in Nigeria. In fact, my first trip to Nigeria, I actually met a girl that was sitting next to me was pregnant and she was headed to Houston to have her baby delivered. So same thing. The middle class is now trying to send their pregnant wives to deliver babies in the United States. They beg, borrow, and steal to send their children to universities in the US and UK and encourage their children to stay on after completing school. Then there are the adventurers among us who have always taken off to go and try their luck and seek fortunes wherever is said to be the current land of gold. Under the radar, Ghanaians. No credible statistics exist on exactly how many Ghanaians there are in various countries around the world. Never mind that what they are doing there. Some of them, of course, are thriving where they are and making Ghana proud. But there are many of who it is widely understood are living under the radar and trying to regularize their paperwork, and so do not advertise the fact they are Ghanaians. I know some Ghanaians who put that they are Liberians on the paperwork. Because, you know, a lot of Ghanaians were, so before, you know, the great country of Liberia that was founded by Black Americans, free slaves who established Liberia, right? At one time, Liberia was like the center. In Africa, if you wanted a proper education, you went to Liberia. There really wasn't need to go to America. You would go to Liberia and go to university in Liberia. But then the coup happened. So I know a number of Ghanaians who are claiming to be Liberian but are really Ghanaians. Because when the coup happened, if you said that you were a Liberian, you were able to get amnesty or whatever it's called here in America. So you got some Ghanaians who are fronting to be Liberians. They might try to live unnoticed, but we know they are there. Through holding down 2 or 3 jobs, they send the odd $100 to help with a mother's food bill. It is a badge of honor to say you have a relation abroad, and we bend over backwards to accommodate their wishes when it comes to making arrangements for funerals and attended ceremonies. Those among them who can travel, that is those who have regularized their visa situations, usually plan and make the 10-day or 2-week trip to Ghana to catch up with friends and family, typically over the Christmas period. When they are here, they behave as one does on holidays and splash money around. No one hears about them having a hard life over there, and we see them as success stories. They are an inspiration for other young people to try and escape from Ghana and go abroad. Then coronavirus arrived. The places that young people had been willing to give an arm and a leg to go to were no longer attractive as China, Europe, and America were hit hard by the virus. The talk turned to bringing Ghanaians home from abroad. Suddenly, Ghana became an attractive place. The Ghanaians abroad were anxious and they showed it. Please don't let what is happening in Europe and America happen in our country was the constant refrain. It was not just a report back in May that 33 Ghanaians had died from COVID-19 in New York that shook everybody. Wow. So only 100 died. I mean, this is crazy. Only 100 Ghanaians have died so far. A little bit over 100 have died so far in all of Ghana. But 33 have died in New York alone. In New York, that shook everybody. There was a growing desperation from Ghanaians abroad who wanted to come back home. If we discovered during the lockdown that in Ghana's big cities it was difficult for many people to survive without the daily hustle, then we got to realize that it was impossible to survive at all abroad as a hustler in the time of coronavirus. People could no longer live under the radar, and undocumented migrants who up until then had been welcomed for doing jobs for half the normal wages became unwelcome and possible candidates for being blamed as the source of the disease. Wow. You see how it shifted? It went from a Chinese disease, a disease that came from China, right? To now we're gonna blame the Africans. Landlords who used to rent rooms and apartments to help to 2 people living in the shadows now wanted to make sure they had a valid visa. With businesses shutting down and everybody wanted to cut down on expenditure, many of our people discovered they have become surplus to requirements. Grass is not greener. We have been looking on in dismay as the realities of the lives of many of those who are abroad have been exposed. It turns out that many of the young women who went abroad to be nannies and maids in Lebanon and other Arab countries lead intolerable lives that no one would accept in Ghana. Of course not. They're being abused, sexually abused, physically abused, being dropped from 4th floor balconies. Is wild. I don't know why anybody would want to go to these Arab countries or Lebanon, or go to Lebanon, which is an Arab country. But I don't understand why anybody would want to go there and become a domestic worker. It turns out that in spite of the skyscrapers and 10-lane highways, the sleeping arrangements for many of our young people in China and some European countries are no different from our local slums. True story. I know some Africans in New York. There are about 10 of them in a studio apartment. About 8 of them in a studio apartment. Why come to America and be 8 deep in a studio apartment when you have your own family lands in Africa? Coronavirus has made all of us look at things from a different perspective. People want to come home, but the borders are closed. The Ghanaians at home feel the virus was brought into the country by travelers from Europe and China. That's true. That's who brought it in. Europe and Chinese. Europeans and Chinese. And are therefore not enthusiastic about letting in even more people. There are some evacuation flights taking place, but with most airlines not flying, they are expensive. We talked about that. Equally expensive are the protocols for entering Ghana, which demand that on arrival you go into a 14-day quarantine in a hotel monitored by security services. Abroad seems to have lost its luster. For the moment, it appears the place to be is right here in Ghana. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that. you know, again, and this is just not limited to Ghana. This is Africa as a whole. I mean, the West is not as attractive anymore. This coronavirus pandemic has been the wake-up call for Africa. So guys, thank you so much for joining. I cannot wait to get back on the continent. I have a lot to do, a lot to accomplish. And I will make sure my best years will not be served building up the West, but they will be served building up Africa. So I got to get back to it. I got to get up out of here. I can't wait for these borders to open. So until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, search for Uhuru. Negotiating my cab fare from Lome to Ouida. Headed to Ouida tonight. Just landed in Lome, Togo. So happy to be back in Africa.